Noir is the reason we're all here. My dad's nickname was Papa Pinot, and he loved that nickname. and the reason he got it was because, you know, he was looking around for the best possible site for Pinot Noir outside of Burgundy. And he looked at 3 different locations around the world. He looked at the South Island of New Zealand, he looked at the northern coast of Portugal, and he looked at the Willamette Valley. And the place he kept coming back to was the Willamette Valley. It really did seem to have, again, outside of Burgundy, the perfect climate. It's very different from Burgundy. You know, we have the same amount of rain, but we get it all in the winter, and they get, you know, basically a steady amount every month. We have the same average temperature, but their temperatures go much lower in the winter, and their average temperatures are higher in the summer. And so it's not Burgundy, but it's similar enough. The Pinot Noir is very comfortable here. The big test of whether or not Pinot Noir is a success here or anywhere is how it ages. And I think we can safely say from tasting our own wines and those of our colleagues here in Oregon that Oregon can make Pinot Noir that can age with the best. So working with Pinot Noir, people have a lot of very dramatic things to say about working with Pinot Noir. They call it the heartbreak grape. And they talk about how hard it is to work with. And I grew up making Pinot Noir, so I find Pinot Noir very easy to work with. It's a very soft grape. It has a relatively thin skin. What's hard is Cabernet, literally. You know, when you're doing the pigeage, when you're pushing down the skins in the fermentation with Cabernet, you almost have to use a jackhammer, and you have to be really strong. You have to use a lot of force, and there's not a lot of subtlety that you employ when you're working those fermentations. With Pinot Noir, I mean, it gives you great feedback, right? So before the fermentation starts, the berries are kind of crunchy and hard, and they do push back a little bit, and so you push a little harder. But then through the fermentation, they soften, and you push softer. And so there's always this kind of feedback that you get from Pinot Noir, and almost a dialogue with the berry through the fermentation that I find makes it easier to work with rather than harder.